Howdy, welcome back to March Sadness Day 20 something. We're almost done. Today's topic is an album called Never Before Seen, Never Again Found, for which I have chosen Arm's Length's album, Never Before Seen, Never Again Found. There's a decent chance that my review of this album almost 2 years ago is what brought you to my channel. If that's the case, thank you so much for sticking around. We're going to briefly go over this album again for March Sadness because I am so happy to see that the community around emo and pop punk have really latched on to this album by Arm's Length. We've all had nearly a year and a half to sit with this record. Arm's Length is finally headlining off of this album, and they've quadrupled their Spotify listeners, I'm pretty sure. And the pop punk subreddit posts about this album every single day. But it makes me so happy to see the love that everyone has given Never Before Seen, Never Again Found, because Arm's Length absolutely deserves it. Although I do not envy the task that they have of following this album up. For now, what we have is an emo classic, and yes, I think that this album will be considered an emo classic, and it has a little bit of everything. The themes tie this album together in a cohesive little package, and within it are singles for the pop-minded like Object Permanence and In Loving Memory. It's got intense emotional moments like on Everything As I Knew It and Tough Love. And of course, Never Before Seen, Never Again Found is packed to the brim with Tumblr-ready lyrics. The two songs that set this album apart for me and that make it truly special are the opening track and the closing track, Overture and Dirge. I cannot imagine this album working nearly as well without these tracks, and they're the reason that whenever I revisit any of these songs, I have to just listen to this album front to back because it just doesn't feel right not hearing it start with Overture and end with Dirge. There's a certain breed of emo and pop punk enjoyers whose favorite song is Copacetic from Untitled, or their favorite song on The Greatest Generation is I Just Want to Sell Out My Funeral. And I think that breed of enjoyers is going to find one more to add to their list on Never Before Seen, Never Again Found in Dirge, and there's an argument to be made that there are two such songs here if you include Overture. And Arm's Length just has a great sound. There's a lot of overbearing guitars and drums that pull back every once in a while to give us a nice little riff. Likewise, the vocalist, he has a voice that is very loud at times, sometimes breaking when he hits the higher notes, but it also pulls back and sings softly at a moment's notice. His voice is built for this genre, and he stands out as one of the deeper voices in the scene, which I am personally very drawn to. This band also puts on a fantastic live show, by the way, so if they're coming through your city in support of this album, please be sure to check them out if you can. A lot of those shows are going to sell out in no small part to this album's success and quality, and I personally hold this album to the same esteem as Home Like No Place in There. As blasphemous as it may be to say something like that, I believe it. And if I were to redo my 2022 recap, Never Before Seen, Never Again Found would overtake Pool Kids' self-title as the #1 album of that year. No shade to Pool Kids, I still absolutely love that record. This is the one that has just stayed with me ever so slightly more. Thank you for joining me today in this brief episode of March Sadness. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this band and this album. I know that this record means a lot to a lot of people. I very much hope to see you tomorrow for the next installment of March Sadness. In the meantime, you can check out the previous episodes right here. Thank you so much for watching.